My name is Cassandra, and today I'm here to tell you about my family culture. There are 3 things growing up that I learned that have become a fundamental part of who I am. 1, that my life should be centered around Christ. 2, that I can do anything as long as it doesn't cause a problem for anybody else. And 3, that time is valuable, so make your memories count. So my life should be centered around Christ. That is the first value that I learned growing up in my culture. Now, my parents never forced Christ down our throats or forced us to be a Christian, but they did nurture us with the love of Christ. We prayed every night, going to bed. We prayed before every meal. We talk about God freely. We talk about controversy so that we were able to make our own choices, my brother and I. And for that I'm very thankful because I feel like now that my religion is my choice and not anybody else's. Of course, we were required to go to church. In my family, it was a rule that we would be in church on Sunday mornings while we lived in the household. If we were not, then we had to skip activities during the week or go to church sometime else during the week. And so now I feel like I am a Christian because I chose to be a Christian, but that my family, especially my parents, they taught me that it was important to make that choice, but they led by example and not by force, and for that I'm very thankful. The second thing that I learned as a value growing up is that I can do anything as long as it doesn't cause a problem for anybody else. Now, this parenting style that my parents used was called Love and Logic, and though I hated it at the time, I'm very thankful for it now, because it taught me to make choices that were wise and to think about others when I'm making my life choices. Phrases such as bummer, or I love you too much to argue, or sounds like a personal problem to me, were 3 things that my parents often said around the house. And every once in a while we'd be caught saying it to our parents. And that always made them laugh. And these values, this parenting style that my parents used, was very, very good. And it's a style that I'll use for my kids when I have them, because I never had a curfew, I never had a bedtime. My parents' rule was, you're the one that has to get your sorry little body out of bed in the morning, so good luck. And that taught me that I needed to go to bed on time, that I needed to make a wise decision and know how much sleep I needed to get. Also, if I was grumpy, then they'd say, oh, bummer, I guess you should have gone to bed earlier. Hope it works out for you next time. And things like that. And of course, my brother and I hated when our parents used those phrases and used this on us because we knew that we were being manipulated. But now we're like, oh, I'm so glad that they did that because we are better for it. The third value that I learned is that time is very important and that it's important to use it wisely and make your time count. As a family, we always go on road trips together. We go on vacations. We do things together as a family that most people would think are crazy. Sometimes we'd just go have coffee in the morning, or we would ride to school together, or we would all get up and take a picture together on the first day of school because my dad's a principal, my mom was a teacher, and my brother and I were in school, of course. Now, one of my favorite memories is that we always go to Disneyland. Disneyland was kind of like a second home for me growing up. We have family down there that we love to spend time with. So we'd go down there, we'd go to Disneyland for a couple days, and the cousins would come meet us. One of the best things that happened in Disneyland that I can remember is my cousin Dan, he really knows a lot about Disneyland. And he told us one time that they were remodeling Small World, and when we were at Disneyland, we could see that they were remodeling Small World. And we wondered kind of why they were remodeling it because it was already so annoying. Can't make it any more annoying. Well, we found out that the boats were sinking and scraping the bottom of the canal that was only about 3 feet deep, but they were still scraping because America as a whole had gained weight, and so the boats could no longer hold the weight of the people, so they had to make the canals deeper, they had to make the boat stronger, and they had to remodel Small World together. So my brother and my dad made this song that goes to Small World that goes, it's a world of burgers, a world of shakes, a world of french fries and double-decker cakes. You supersize so the world will maximize, it's a large world after all. And I still remember it because it's so catchy, and it takes this annoying song that people are driven crazy by and turns it into something funny of a real-life event. Now, of course, we don't know if this is completely true, but my cousin Dan is at Disneyland a lot, and he knows a lot of inside people, so we're assuming that it's true. We don't know for sure, but it was still funny to think about and talk about. So these three things that I've learned growing up are: one, that my life should be centered around Christ; that two, I can do anything as long as it doesn't cause a problem for anybody else; and three, that time is valuable, so make your memories count. All three of these things have molded me, shaped me into who I am today. They're a fundamental part of who I am, and I'm very, very thankful for it. My culture, my family culture growing up, is a reflection of who I am today. What does your family culture say about you? Thank you for your time.